What up? What up? What up? What up?
Yo, what's going on, my dude?
Hey, nothing much, man. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, the pleasantries are done with me and Jamal, but welcome back to Let's Talk About It for another week of our Natural Bodybuilding podcast. This week we have a very special guest. We would have said the biggest, but we had, I guess, David, but now he's the new biggest, right? Not in weight, but I mean in the title. We got a repeat, as we said, repeat offender coming back to talk with us. Our first conversation went by very smoothly, and we were ecstatic to have him on again. As y'all know, this is the Yorton Cup Champion Series, so I mean, we ain't gonna even hold it off too much longer. Y'all know who we got on coming on. His name is Dereck, aka Flex God. Let's show you the quick picture. Flex God, as y'all see this guy. But let's go ahead and bring him on. What up, man?
Hey guys, what's going on? What's going on?
That boy cheesing from ear to ear, boy. Must feel good.
I haven't
Must feel
stopped, man. I
good.
haven't stopped smiling. I haven't stopped.
So we want you to, of course, go ahead and introduce yourself. I think, honestly, I think I checked it the other day. I think you're grossing our highest interview from so far. You're up there. I think you're top 3 for highest interview. So I think a lot of our people know who you are. But for those who don't, because we did get a lot of new followers post Yorton, let them know who you are and a few things about yourself.
Yeah, man. So my name is Dereck Fleury, 34 years old. I live in New Jersey, born in Brooklyn, but pretty much raised in South New Jersey. I'm married. I got 2 young boys, 2 and 4, August and Ali. And I'm just a regular guy, man. I work a 9 to 5 in finance. I'm a VP at a big financial firm. And I love to bodybuild.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're the stereotypical when the comedians be talking about the big guys that's working in like the offices and the tight shirts. That's you right there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Gotcha. But we're gonna move into the questions. We like to ask questions for people to get to know you, but mostly about the experience of the Yorton Cup. And I'm pretty sure you're part of a big team. We seen your support system, and I'm pretty sure they asked you and beat us to the punch. But how does it feel to hoist that cup up at the end of the show, knowing that you're the last man standing?
Oh man, it's been amazing. I feel as though I'm still on cloud 9. Like it hasn't fully hit me yet. Um, it's also relieving, because I'm also going into my off season. So the stress of like having to compete and being in prep, and that being done is been great. But it's been amazing, man. I've gotten so much love over the last couple of days. So many new followers, so many people reaching out saying like congratulations. It's been a blessing.
Okay.
um, Man, where do I even want to start, dude? So I've been following your journey. I was at the amateur show you won when you got your pro card. I believe it was Chesapeake last year.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've watched your journey, and I also watched some of the stuff you post. Like when you was down in the trenches, when you wasn't feeling it, like you vocalized that you had put a post on, IG or whatever. So what kept you going this year, and what is one thing you took away from this year also?
I mean, what kept me going was my desire to prove to myself that I could do it. It's not impossible for someone like me. Like I said, I'm a father of 2 young boys. I work a pretty high stressful job, but you could still have hobbies and still be successful in those hobbies as well. So I wanted to prove to myself as well as to others who may be in the same boat who feel as though they might not have enough time, might not have enough energy, or might not have enough gusto to do something like this. So I wanted to be able to be that like shining light, that example that hey, I've got a regular life too that's pretty stressful, but you can also be a champion on the other side. We started out Our body, our body, but well, our shows this year around May, we won a couple shows early on. The flames were still hot, so we just figured, hey, let's keep going. Let's see how far we can take it. You know, as long as I have the energy, as long as I have the focus, as long as I have the support from the family as well as the team, let's just keep going and see, see where we can go. I actually had to drop out of a couple shows because I started to get a little burnt out, and I needed that little break. I think this was like after the Scorcher. There were a couple of other shows that I was going to do, but I started to get a little burnt out, and I know our overall goal was the Yorton. So we ended up dropping out of those shows, but I thought it was, one of the best decisions I made because I was able to regain that focus, regain that energy, get a little break, and we pushed towards the Yorton.
All right, whether it was, some adversity you faced this year, your support system, like you said, you got a family behind you, a team behind you. Like, what is the biggest takeaway you took from this year?
The biggest takeaway that I took, I mean, like I said, like just continue to believe in yourself, man. Like anything is possible as long as you put your head down, you grit it out. Like anything is really possible. And just ensure that those people that are supporting you, you give back to them eventually. Like I'm going to take this time post you're in going into my off season to kind of pour back into those people and pour back into those things that are kind of neglected and or put to the wayside. So as long as you show them like, I appreciate all the support, whether it's, me being cranky or having mood swings and having to like be a little aggressive with you or kind of just like not focusing on you. I just want to be able to pour back into you. So that's really what it is. Like a lot of support. There's a lot of people supporting you, and they have your back. So that's what I really took away from this journey so far this year.
Gotcha. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of go back on what Jamal said because of course we both was there for Chesapeake, so we saw like your very debut show, and I guess this is more so of a selfish story because I think you was just like, "Yo, I'm coming for you," right? And I was just like, "Well, it's gonna be wide open. You're not coming for me, right?" And I think
I did say that. I did
that
say
was my and that was our very
that.
first interaction of like, "Hey, I'm coming for you," and I was just like, "Well, I won't be there." So I mean, hey, nobody believed me at the time, but I think you were one of the first people to hear that. But then I also want to thank the OCB for giving me the honor of being able to, pass that along to the next person. Of course, with me not being there, but I was still able to be a part of the Yorton Cup and give you that trophy. And I think seeing when you walked out, because like we said, a lot of people see the bodybuilding aspect and they see the physique, and that's solely based on what we're judged upon, not the person behind the physique and not the person that made it to the stage. So I think seeing you have very similar reactions, like from when I won mine, I could tell like in that moment, it probably meant just as much as it did to me last year. Right.
Right.
And then of course, seeing your journey throughout the whole year of like I said, people see you holding up trophies at every end of the show, but they don't really see what goes into it. And I think Sully mentioned about your support system, like the team that travels and y'all travel. We see clips of it, but we really don't know the background of that. So you don't have to give us any details or deep details, but like, how does that community of your team just helps you? Like, how do they push you in a way that somebody without a team wouldn't know about?
It's kind of like, you think about the movies like Fast and Furious, like that nitrous oxide that kind of gives you that extra boost, especially when you need it. There's times when I was going to quit. I said, I'm done with this. I can't do it. Some team members or coach would say, hey, pop out to our gym, and work out with us. And just being in that environment with those folks who are also kind of in the same journey. Some people may be just starting out in their bodybuilding career. There's a couple of athletes who are in the middle of their prep, and just being around that environment and that energy always like uplifts me. And I wanted to also give back to some other athletes on our team that are also going through that. So every time I would feel down in the dumps, my gas tank was always on E. I would just reach out to one of my teammates, or my teammates would reach out to me. I'd go out to the gym, I'd call my coach, and they'd be able to give me that additional juice to push on to the next step. You know what I mean? A big motto we have on our team is like, one day at a time, take it one day at a time. And every time I would see them, they would give me that extra boost to make it to that next competition or that next day or getting to the end of, the 1 hour, 2 hour cardios or whatever it may be. So it's been really great, man. It's really great to have that support system. I honestly don't think I would have made it without them, as well as my family.
All right. I got a feeling I already know what your answer is going to be because you're so positive and you like to include everybody into your answers. But I'm gonna ask you anyway. Was this a bigger win for you, or was this a bigger win for your coach?
I think it was mutual, man. I think it was a big win for the both of us. One for him because I am his first Yorton Cup champion. The first on Team Nonstop. It's a big accomplishment. And for me, it's also my first, and I'm gonna speak it to existence. My first Yorton Cup championship. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was big for the both of us. Everything that I put into this journey leading up to it kind of spilled over, and that's why I kind of had the tears, as well as my coach. Like I think we kind of both broke down at the same time as soon as they called my name at the Yorton Cup. So it's been really like fantastic, and I believe it's equally impactful and equally a big deal for the both of us, honestly. Maybe for him more because it is his first like Yorton Cup championship. And I've only been bodybuilding for 2 years, but he's been doing this for so long. Has had so many athletes compete and try to reach that title. So I believe it's a huge deal for him.
Gotcha. And knowing that, what went into your decision? Because we have known for people to go on and compete in other shows post Yorton, or just finish off because like there's still 4 or 5, I think maybe even 6 championship shows left. What went into your decision to shut it down?
So coming off of my last show last season, I believe it was the Tampa Pro Show, and that ended in November. And I was listening to your last interview. So my off season last year wasn't the greatest either. I kind of like fell off the rails, gained 20, 30 some pounds in a couple of weeks. I had the post show blues, it really wasn't the greatest. So it took a while for me to get out of that stage. And then honestly, I really had maybe 1 month of a solid, off season before we kind of like turned the gas back on and went back into prep mode because we kind of hit a couple of earlier shows. I believe it was like early spring, right? So we took like the early circuit. So I had been doing it for a while. You know what I mean? Like I had last year, and then in November, didn't really have the greatest December. Had like 1 month off season in January, and I kind of started a prep in the beginning of February. You know what I mean? So I had been going for a while. And with that, I believe I did what six or seven different shows from the end of April, May to the Yorton. So I figured, what better way to cap off my season than to go to the Yorton, win, lose or draw, go to the Yorton, try to be as successful as I can, and kind of finish it out there.
All
Gotcha.
right. You got something else?
Oh no, you go ahead.
Um, you stepped on a couple different stages this year with different organizations. One, what was the strategy behind that? And two, do you feel like you stepping on, I'm not trying to be funny, but the easier stages, do you feel like, it kind of hurt you in a way, or did it help you?
I believe it helped me. I believe it slightly hurt me in regards to fatigue. Anytime you go into a peak week or you're prepping into a show, the build up to that show, and then you compete, and then you're done. You kind of got to reset your mindset for the next show. So from a fatigue standpoint, I think it kind of negatively impacted me. But I believe those shows were great because they were able to warm me up, get me comfortable. Like by the time I got to the Yorton, like there was no nerves, there was no nothing. I remember when I went to the polygraph, the gentleman that was performing the test said like, "Hey, we were men's, right? So we were the second day, and he did all the females, and he had said like, out of everyone that I've tested, like your nerves are like the best. Like you are the calmest that I've had thus far for the Yorton. And it's because I was able to get those reps in, right? Getting those reps in, being able to get comfortable, I believe definitely helped me shine on those stages. So the more I did it this year, the better and more comfortable I got. So some negatives in regards to fatigue, but a lot of positives in regards to getting those reps in, and being mentally prepared for the Yorton.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I was just like, I never thought of it that way. You know, a lot of us we speak on is well, in boxing is ring rust, you know, not being on the stage or being in the ring. And then some people, you know, we have also seen, I've seen it personally myself tiring out, right? And my body is tired by the end of the year. But I think if you know your equal median and you find it, then that can very well help you, like you said, for these bigger shows going against different competition. And like you said, just getting the reps in. It's just like lifting weights. You get the reps in, you get better at it, right? But I think we're at the part of the show of where we do quick hitters. 3 random questions, you know, off the top of the head. Well, these ones are kind of I reuse some of these. So, what's your backstage routine? Like, are you the talker? Are you like chilling in the corner? What you listening to? What's going on back there?
I do like to try to talk to the other athletes because you know what I mean. I understand like they have crosshairs on me, and you know it's like attack, attack, attack. But I try to like lighten the mood because like at the end of the day, we're all winners, we're all champions. We all went through prep to get to this stage for the 10-15 minutes on stage. So I try to communicate with some of the other competitors, just to eat my nerves as well as their nerves if we have any nerves. But outside of that, I'm really the kind of just listening to coach, you know, like having him give me motivational things, trying to pump up a little bit. May listen to music sometimes, I may not, but I'm kind of like to myself. So half and half, half and half. I'm talking to the other athletes to see like how they're doing, how their mindset is, to let them know like, you know, I'm not a scary guy. Like I'm very, very friendly, regardless if we're battling it out on stage. I'm a friendly guy. I would love to be friends like after this. And then half of the time, you know, I got my headphones on, I'm listening to music, getting pumped, getting ready. So
Gotcha. This is a selfish question. Was there any car problem in Charlotte?
car problem? No car problems this time. No car problems this time. Luckily, we had maybe like 3 or 4 different rentals between the team, you know, and my wife and stuff. So no car problems, thankfully.
All right, gotcha. Perfect. And lastly, are there going to be any mini flex gods competing from the 2 of your sons? Are any one of them interested in bodybuilding?
Oh, too young to tell, man. They're only 4 and 2. Like all they know is that Daddy does a lot of muscle shows. He's like, "Oh, Daddy, did you win the muscle show? Did you win the muscle show? Can I see the muscle show picture?" They've been to a couple of my shows, so they've been able to see me on stage. One has a good acumen for athletic ability. The other one, not so much. But the first one, he seems like he could be an athlete. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Give us some time.
Gotcha, gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna just lead off. We'll follow up Eric's question. What's the best part about being a father?
Best part about being a father, being able to show them that anything is possible, especially put your mind to it. You know, they're usually looking out the window when I'm getting up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, I may be loud downstairs and I leave the house to go do my cardio or go work out. They've been to a couple of my shows and they see me hoist up those trophies. So just being able to prove to them that, like, you know, if you put your mind to it, if you really work hard, you could be a champion or you can achieve your goals. Especially seeing those like smiles, especially when I like hand them the trophy or I hand them or I let them wear my medals. That's been, you know, impactful for me so far.
All right, what's your biggest pet peeve you have while you're in prep? Like something you just can't stand.
Biggest pet peeve in prep, man. Oof. Honestly, biggest pet peeve. It's just having to explain to especially the newcomers about bodybuilding and about prep. You know, it's, you know, when the grandparents come around or the uncles or the cousins or the friends who don't know what you're doing, they say, "Oh, you know, we're gonna order, you know, kava. You know, you can eat something from there." Like, no, I can't. Well, why not? It's just like lettuce and salad. Like, okay, then I have to go through the 10-15 minute explanation on why. Oh, no big deal. You can, you know what I mean? So having to continue to re-explain like why I can't do certain things, why I can't go into these outings. That's kind of the biggest pet peeve. Uh, yeah, that's really it, having to re-explain like why I can't like do things or why I can't be social. for a certain goal. And then on top of it, they turn around and say like, well, you know, you look sick or you look really skinny, you should eat. Those are some of the biggest pet peeves. They just don't understand, you know. And that's why it's good to have a team as well, because like they understand. Like, so you go around them and they understand what you're going through and you understand what they're going through. So it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, like, oh, okay, I can kind of be myself around these folks.
All right. Last question. What is one improvement you think you need to work on to retain the Yorton Cup championship next year? Or what is one improvement you think you need to work on to be competitive in the higher class of Classic next year if you decide to go that route?
Definitely got to gain some size, especially in my back. I believe my weak point is my back. And if I do want to be competitive in Classic, definitely gain some size. You know, everyone kind of has like their weak point or their weak muscle group. When I got feedback, it was, you know, try to bring up my back to be more proportional with my chest and my shoulders. So I'm going to be working on that. Um, but that's really it, man. Just trying to be consistent. You know what I mean? Try to make sure that I have a good off season so that I can lean bulk in a proper way. Build some size, get some size in my legs, get some density in my back. And then I think with that, I'll be able to be competitive, you know, at the Yorton next year. I can say that, you know, the competitors who competed in men's physique at the Yorton, there were some big dudes, man. There were some big dudes. I can attest that out of all of my shows at the Yorton was the first time that I felt like dwarfed a little bit. Yeah. Because those guys were massive. You know, those guys were massive. So I definitely want to make sure I come in um, just as big, you know what I mean? Just as full, just as hard, especially leading in the next year.
All right. One more question, and then I'm gonna turn it back over to Eric. So there was a post that went out last week, and somebody tried to compare apple to oranges, and they used your picture as an example. How did you feel about that?
I mean, I appreciated the exposure, you know, like
Yeah.
it's good to get a little exposure. But at the end of the day, like I didn't really sweat it because I didn't. Those two guys that he compared me to, they both were unnatural. Like what I mean, they were both enhanced. And again, there's nothing wrong with enhanced competitors. Like I said, if you want to be enhanced, you want to go to NPC and do that. That's fine. You know what I mean? That's why there's a league for that. But you can't compare me to two guys who are enhanced and then turn around and say like, yeah, he want to be able to place top 5 in some of these shows. Well, like, yeah, I mean, put me against someone who's natural. And now, honestly, I feel as though I could, you know, withstand and compete against some of those guys in the NPC stage. But, you know, it is what it is. I didn't really take too much into it. You know, I took the feedback for what it was. I do appreciate all of you guys, you know, OCB and everybody else really coming to my defense because they were really going ham in the comments.
They went crazy.
They went crazy in the comments. To the
If
point where
somebody
the guy,
remove a post, then you know it's serious.
yeah, the guy took down the post, but I didn't really take too much. You know, I appreciated the exposure. You know, I appreciated the feedback. You know, I took it for a grain of salt because you're comparing me to two guys who are enhanced, and it is what it is. You know.
Gotcha. Well, I think that's pretty much perfect. I think a lot of people learned a lot more about you. Definitely want to, wish you more good luck going into that off season. I know you're probably going to enjoy it like I did mine this year. So,
Yeah, man, yeah. Like I said,
other
last
than-
year I didn't really do it the right way, so I kind of want to make sure I kind of do it the right way. I'm gonna be on a trip to Europe starting tomorrow, so like trying to navigate that without blowing up is gonna be a little difficult. It's gonna be a little difficult, but I'm definitely gonna enjoy it, man. Like I said, I'm still on cloud nine. You know, it's just been a blessing so far, and I hope to continue this journey. And hey, man, who knows? I might see Carolina on the stage for Classic, or I might see you, Eric, from Men's Physique. Who knows, man? I don't know. We'll see.
Hey,
See what happens next year.
Listen. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, and you can feel any. Hey, I'm hungry, dog. So if you come over here, make sure you at your best, man. Make sure you at your best now.
Thanks.
But yeah, I mean, either way, we wouldn't expect nothing less. And this is all friendly banter. It's been that all year long. So of course, either way, but of course, this is your moment. This is your year. We definitely want you to soak in it. Definitely embrace it. Because like we said, I've been saying it for years. only I think 6 or 7 guys can say they did what you done. So with that, in men's physique, you know, from one Yorton Cup champ to another, hey, congratulations. Because people don't, like we said, people don't know the hard work that you put behind it. So hats off to you. I ain't gonna take it off because you know the egg jet was messed up last time. So I'm gonna keep it on this time. But we'll end this episode. But everyone, when you watch this, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow Dereck, follow the Let's Talk About It page. But until next week,